Okay, so what's better than greens? Wild edibles, because they're free greens. My journey in wild edibles started in 1999. My family and I, we embarked on this journey. We were hiking from Mexico to Canada on the Pacific Crest Trail. And my mom just kind of sporadically woke up one morning and said, I think we want to hike across the country. And the rest of the family knows that my mom's a very strong Russian woman, and it makes no sense to argue with her because she's going to do it her way anyway. So we packed our bags. We'd never hiked before, but we thought, what better way to do it than to hike for 6 months straight? We read a book that said, well, you can't carry 6 months worth of food on your back, so you need to send yourself food parcels to post offices along the way so that you can eat. So we packed together 30 boxes. We kind of guesstimated, how much food can hungry hikers eat, realistically? We threw in some oats, some olive oil, some dried fruits, and just shipped them off and started hiking. Well, guess what? We'd get to our stop, eat our food in 3 days, and still have 4 days left to hike till the next parcel. And we did this a few times before we realized how much it sucks to hike when you're hungry. When you're burning calories and you're hiking and you're just like, just 3 more days. We had to either quit or improvise. And we decided to learn about wild edibles. We picked up a small book in a little town that kind of helped us to identify what a dandelion was, what a miner's lettuce was, and a few other things. And then luckily, the universe connected us with some Native American people that taught us a little test. If you're in the wild and if you're in a survival situation and you don't know what to eat, there's a little test you can do to, with 99% accuracy, figure out if something is poisonous or if it's edible. And the way you do this is you utilize all 5 of your senses. The first one is sight. You look at things. Like, for example, if I look at this carpet, I automatically know that I'm not going to eat it because my eyes, they convey information to me, right? So looking at stuff first eliminates a lot of possibilities. You're not going to eat a rock or a tree. The next sense you want to use is touch. What does it feel like? Some things are tender and soft and other things are hard. So automatically you're eliminating a lot of other stuff. Next, you're going to smell it. What does it smell like? Really toxic, poisonous plants often have a very strong scent to them. And this scent kind of, if you smell it, if you just take a big whiff, your body naturally goes, I don't want that. Hemlock is one of those plants. It smells really strong. Foxglove. It doesn't really want to go down. If you just eat plants without smelling them, that's dangerous. But if you take a big inhale, your body starts giving you signals, information. Other plants smell really nice. Like if you take miner's lettuce, it kind of smells earthy, but it kind of makes you almost salivate a little bit. Like, I could eat this. Next, Native Americans say, listen to the plant. And this might sound really strange to you. It did to me too. When you live in the city, your intuition isn't as honed, right? When you live close to nature, when you live in the country, when you're hiking, you start getting these senses about things. I'll give you an example. When we were hiking for 6 months, it got so strong that we always knew what the weather patterns were going to be without the Weather Channel. We would just look at the air, we'd feel the electricity in the air and think, there's going to be a thunderstorm, and sure enough, there'd be a thunderstorm. Or we'd know when hail was coming, and I don't know how we knew, but it's your body's natural instinct. So Native Americans say, listen to the plant. See if it tells you anything. If you can't do this, or if your intuition isn't talking to you, I interpret this as saying, go over the other 3 senses. Again, make sure that it feels nice, it smells nice. And then the last thing you want to do is you want to try it. That's the last possible test. And you're not just going to shove a whole bunch in your mouth, cross your fingers, and hope you don't die. You're going to first take a little piece and rub it on your lips, and then you wait. If no reaction, no swelling, you're going to take it a step further and actually eat a little bit. And then you wait. No reaction. If it doesn't burn or if it doesn't tingle, it's probably edible. And that is literally how we figured out 80% of the plants that we were eating on the trail. I should say we tested most of this stuff on my father because he doesn't really speak English, so we figured if he lost him, it would be the least possible casualty to our family. The amazing thing is, once we discovered wild edibles, hiking became a joy. The Pacific Crest Trail Association actually warns people, you have to pack 1 pound of M&Ms for every 3 days that you're hiking because you constantly need to be putting high-calorie food into your body or else you'll lose an unhealthy degree of weight. Because you're hiking between 15 and 30 miles a day and you're burning lots of calories. At the end of the trail, I actually weighed 15 pounds more than when I started because I had gained so much muscle. I'd never, ever, ever in my life felt that good. And it was because 70% of my diet consisted of wild edibles. So I'm very fortunate in that my family is slightly crazy and gave me this awesome opportunity, this awesome schooling, where I got to learn firsthand and I got to live it. And I want to tell you guys that it's not that difficult. You don't need to be, a graduate of Harvard or have a degree in botany to learn this stuff because this is nothing new. If you go back just 2 generations to our grandparents and our great-grandparents, they all utilized wild edibles. They all ate them. In fact, they just called it food. It wasn't anything special to them. So that's what we're going to spend the rest of this talk doing. We're going to learn about wild edibles, but not before we look at some of the benefits of... Uh-oh. I lost all my benefits. I'm new to PowerPoint, so technology, right? First benefit is that they're free. Everybody can afford wild edibles. If we're talking about green smoothies, I say buy 2 bunches of greens per person per day. Some of you might not be in a financial situation where you can afford $8 just on greens every day. Wild edibles are easily affordable because you don't need anything. Wild edibles are also genetically stronger than store-bought plants, so they're better than organic. And the reason being is because they have longer root systems, up to 3 times longer than lettuce or kale. They generally grow in areas where humans don't disturb them as much, and that's a benefit in and of itself. And also, wild edibles are often the origins of plants that are common to us. So for example, dandelions, that's like prehistoric lettuce, essentially. So thousands of years ago, before we had farmers markets and stores, we didn't have lettuce, we had dandelions. And it was hybridized over time so that the leaves were bigger, juicier, sweeter, but also not as nutritious. So when you're eating a dandelion, you're actually getting more nutrition out of it. They also give us the opportunity to live locally or to eat locally, right? We don't have to truck in bananas or fly in bananas that have traveled longer and more than we have. We just walk outside, we pick a dandelion, and bam, we have it. And eating locally also presents another benefit, and that is that dandelion that's growing here in Dallas, Texas, is in the same environments, fighting off the same bacteria and microorganisms as you are. So essentially, if you eat that dandelion, you can boost your own immune system where you live. Isn't that amazing? In the wintertime, we don't have as much sun. It's cloudy. It's colder. Our immune system goes down because of that. We tend to start getting sick. Try this. If you start eating dandelions or wild edibles in your area in the winter months, I guarantee it, you're going to get sick less. Amazing, right? Another thing that indicates that they're genetically stronger is this phenomenon. If you don't water your grass in the summertime, it goes gray, right? Brown. But there will always be green dandelions on it. They're hardier plants. They have longer root systems. They're genetically stronger. A few more benefits is one I like to call exercise. If you walk out the door, you need to walk a little bit in order to pick a wild edible. It doesn't just miraculously appear, right? So I call that exercise. You're also in the sunshine. You're getting vitamin D through your skin. You're breathing. You're getting fresh air, hopefully. And what else? Oh, did you know that weeds and wild edibles have the power to make you more relaxed? And I'm not talking about these kinds of weeds. Scientifically, if you kick off your shoes and stand on grass, your heart rate and cholesterol goes down. If you look at a beautiful landscape, mountains, lakes, oceans, your heart rate and cholesterol goes down. So you don't even have to eat it to get benefits from it. Now we know wild edibles are good for us. So why is it that we don't eat more of them?
They don't taste good.
They don't taste good? Maybe. Some of them taste excellent. They're not that easy to find. We're getting closer. What's the biggest reason we stay away from wild edibles?
Because we're worried about eating the wrong thing.
That's right. It's fear-based. We are scared that we might misidentify something and eat the wrong thing.
Plus, you don't know what's been sprayed with, like Roundup, pesticides.
Very good. Plus, we don't know if there's man-made chemicals on them.